In this demo, we're going to be going over the Canon 70D, and this is a very popular camera for a lot of different users. I think anyone who is interested in a really good value, a very good product, for the money, this camera is going to be one of the top cameras that they can take a look at. What has gathered the most amount of attention about this camera, what makes it kind of special in the marketplace, most part, is that dual CMOS sensor with that unique focusing system. 20 megapixels, one of the higher resolution Canon cameras available today. Very good autofocusing system, built-in Wi-Fi, and 7 frames per second is not easy to get on an SLR. Only a handful of cameras are faster than this. What's going on with the sensor? Now, this camera has an APS-C sensor, which means it's 27 millimeters from corner to corner. It's kind of what I would call a medium-sized sensor. It hits a very good sweet spot, you might say, when it comes to the size of the sensor for image quality, but then for camera size and lens size, it keeps things relatively small. It is a 20 megapixel sensor from Canon. It's a new sensor that they haven't been using in previous cameras, and it's got some interesting technology that we're going to be talking about here, and that is it has dual pixel CMOS sensor. Now, what this means is that the camera has dual pixels where there is each a pixel. So you could make a certain argument that it is a 40 megapixel camera, but that would be a little deceptive in some ways because it is using 20 megapixels for the image quality. It's using the dual pixels for focusing when it's in live view or movie mode, which makes this camera the best SLR on the market for focusing with the movie mode or in the live view mode. Now, within the autofocusing system, beyond that, there is 4 different ways that you can choose to focus. There is a face tracking system that can detect faces and focus directly on the face. We have 2 flexi zone areas, and flexi zone simply means you have flexibility in where the zone is. You can move it to the left or to the right, up and down and all around. And there's 2 different size boxes. There's a small box and then there's a big box, essentially. There's also a quick mode where the cameras will return to the standard SLR focusing system and focus very quickly. With these, my favorite is either the Flexi Zone Multi or Single, depending on the size of my subject. Let's talk for just a moment about the lenses that are available for the Canon 7D. With the 70D, you can use any of the Canon lenses, but you will have the choice between EF lenses and EF-S lenses. The S lenses were specifically designed for the smaller sensor in this particular camera, but you can use both cameras. The EF lenses have a red dot. The EF-S have a white square to them. Now, Canon uses a lot of letters and special designations on their lenses, and let me kind of decode some of this information for you. So the EF lenses is what they introduced back in 1987. It's the electronic focus. The EF-S is the specially designed lenses for their cropped frame sensors like this camera. And be reminded, these will not work on their full frame cameras. The L lenses, you've probably seen professional shooting with these. These are the lenses with the red ring on them, and they're basically Canon's professional line of lens. Very well built, very sharp. Many of their lenses have image stabilization, a nice feature to have, something that I would leave turned on most all the time when I'm shooting handheld. Many of their lenses are now in their 2nd generation of autofocus models, and so you'll see a Roman numeral number 2 beside it. The ultrasonic motor is just a very quiet, fast-focusing motor. Most of their lenses are of that technology these days, but they do have some new lenses out that are called STM lenses. And these have stepper motors, and these are designed for video use. And these are very affordable lenses. They're typically kind of on the lower end of the price range. And what's different about them is that, and this is something that a lot of photographers have been coming to realize over the last few years, is that the needs for still photography and video can be very, very different. In still photography, photographers want a lens that focuses from point A to point B as fast as possible. With video, how smoothly they focus is now an issue. And these stepper motor lenses focus a little bit more smoothly if you are shooting video. Now, on this camera, we have an articulated 3-inch LCD screen, so let me kind of show you what's going on with this one. And so we have a hinge on the side, and there's a number of cameras that have what people affectionately call tilty screens that just tilt up and tilt down. And this one is a fully articulated one, so you can have it out here to the side. So if you're shooting video, this is a much easier position to shoot it in because you can have the camera in a very stable position. Also, you can point it down if you're going to hold it up over your head. And if you want to just flip it around, you can have it back here. And if you want to protect the camera, like while it's in your camera bag or you're not using it, you can have it here, and it stays very well protected because it's closed around to the back side. So that's a whole bunch on your Canon 70D. Some advanced tips, some beginner tips. Hopefully there's something a little bit for everybody there.
Awesome.